about my head. It is normal. It is a nice head. It does not look like a sodding tic-tac. Absolutely gorgeous. Lovely.
Hey up and welcome to Callum's Corner. I am the victim of voodoo.
Nothing. You want a tic-tac? I will give you a tic-tac. Tickety-tack, tickety-tack. Train ran down the track. Tickety-tack, tickety-tack. You won't even see me when I attack. It's a flower. Tic-tac's white, I'm not there.
A few years ago, I stumbled across a meme regarding a YouTuber I hadn't seen before. He was being made fun of due to the shape of his head, which people had pointed out looked a bit like a tic-tac. I was curious as to what his content consisted of, so I decided to check him out. This led me down a rabbit hole of rant videos and challenges of a 39-year-old man with the most annoying family on earth. At first I watched them ironically, making fun of the things he said and the way he acts.
I'm at my niece's birthday party and it is not going well. The DJ keeps stopping the music to play all these stupid little party games. And, right, he took ages to put anything but the Black Eyed Peas on. And he finally put it on, and it's not my fault, but I was doing one of my spin moves and I swapped this kid in the face.
But then, I'd just watched them. The dull, mundane videos of this man's day-to-day life. I couldn't figure out why I was so infatuated by this content. He was literally just a British man stood in his kitchen ranting about the terrible things that happened to him. Yet video after video I'd just keep watching his content. Perhaps it was the relatability. Perhaps it was due to how I felt maybe I would be someday. Or maybe it's because he didn't have an American accent. After around a month, I ran out of videos to watch and eventually moved on. Until recently. It's been a while, so we decided to see how he'd been doing. And it was interesting. Since then I've been casually watching his content. I wasn't obsessed with it this time. I'd watch it on one monitor whilst doing something else on the other. More casual approach. There are a few things I noticed this time around though. Things that I've sorted into 3 different categories. The good, the bad, and the corner. The last one doesn't really work, but there wasn't really any ugly to talk about, and I kind of wanted to mention the fan base instead. The good. Despite the throne of his success being built on the public mocking of his appearance, Callum did make the most of it. He mentioned in a Drewish sharing Q&A that his channel usually gets a huge wave of attraction whenever a commentary YouTuber or meme of his goes around. The sparse mods usually call him a tic-tac and move on whilst the good ones stay. Over the years he's managed to amount quite a loyal fan base with a very active Discord and Reddit group. I'm going to go more into detail on his fan base later, but this catapult of recognition and subscribers allowed for him to make the content he liked and quit his job as a carer. In his earlier videos he gets really angry about the small things, but over time he's become more in tune with the internet culture. And he eventually just decided to own the whole tic-tac thing, even making a diss track on Afghan Dan, one of the people who blew him up to begin with. He really grew over the years. Instead of rant videos he started making reaction videos, and overall harmless, wholesome content promoting anti-noncery, which he really hates. He even made a diss track on all the nonces. He also hates his sister, and his hate for her led to his hatred of the entire vegan community, prompting him to make a diss track on vegans. And this brings us up to now. This is how his content remains. Something about it just makes you want to watch more and more. Like, can you make cookie from cookie dough ice cream? I want a puppy update and Swallock's survival. I want to watch I Had Boom Boom at Last. And that brings us to the end of the good, because the good isn't very interesting. Now onto the bad. This section of the video is going to be very opinionated, and very exaggerated too. This is not a personal attack on Callum's Corner, it is entirely for entertainment purposes. Picture this. It's been several months since one of your videos went viral. You've made countless follow-ups defending the subject, but there isn't really enough content in them to allow people to make fun of you. Getting romantic with Dairy Lee just isn't cutting it. If you want to get views, then you have to feed the trolls. So what do? You make a follow-up video directly addressing it. Now I'm going to show you a very raw personal video of Callum's, and I want you to notice how he acts.
I just feel like the last 3 months have been wasted. And not even wasted, just all that hope and happiness that could have been is just down the drain.
Now watch this one.
It all just hit home, didn't it? Everyone was right. My head does look like a sodding tic-tac. I'm not going to be with anyone. I felt like Quasimodo. Everyone was looking at me.
As far as I can tell, this is a serious video. I browsed the comments and I couldn't find anything that pointed towards this being a joke. I also couldn't find any suggesting what I'm about to say. I just don't think that this is at all genuine. I may be missing out on a massive joke here, but this video is 100% in my eyes to try and replicate the success of the first video, which it did. I used to think that perhaps it was all an act, because some of the things he says have to be jokes. There's also a video where he claims he's not racist because he has Chinese for tea every night. I couldn't find it, but I promise you it exists. If anyone could find it, it'd be great. After tuning into a lot of his streams, I reckon it can't be an act. He's genuinely just... I don't know. Another scheme he did with reviews was starting beef with the YouTuber Stephen Tries. Stephen's a British comedian who makes some generally decent skits with really shitty acting. Anyway, he made this one offhand comment. Now what does Callum do? Does he let it go? I mean, it was an offhand joke. Nope. He makes a diss track. People before this have said way worse, and he barely even reacts. Why does he care so much? Oh, right, yeah, that might be it. Anyway, Stephen makes a diss track 8 weeks later because you kind of have to. It's like when an autistic kid comes up to you and wants to play with you and you kind of have to go along with it or you're a terrible person. But the funniest part of this drama is watching Stephen react to Callum react to Stephen's reaction diss track of his diss track. His facial expressions when he sees Callum's reaction made my day. Now, earlier when I mentioned he'd grown over the years, yeah, well, it took some time. Countless angry rants concerning Willany and Tic Tac, the brand themselves. All the while, trolls constantly made fun of him, and he really took it all to heart up until he started streaming and doing his meme review series. All of this anger led to somewhat of a breakdown. Callum can often be a very angry person who likes to get revenge. Take a look at this video in which he harasses his sister, who is a vegan, by stuffing rotten bacon into her flowers and ordering a meat feast pizza with as much grease as possible. Now this isn't terrible, but it shows how far he'd go to disturb his sister based on her personal values. Over the years he's managed to mount quite a loyal fan base with very active Discord and Reddit groups, which brings us on to the corner. Since I've started watching Callum again, I myself have become part of the fan base, the corner if you will, or Callum's army. I've even made a few pieces of fan art myself. This video could even be considered fan art somehow. The video is intended to piss Callum off, so that is what his fans do best. Callum often streams on Twitch and used to stream on YouTube, and him doing so was a goldmine for the meme monkey fans as he calls them. What they do is try to trick Callum into playing horrific songs and sounds. These usually consist of a few things: people using slurs, IRA or Nazi propaganda songs, song parodies of his own songs making him out to be a paedophile, or, my personal favourite, Elliot Bloody Rogers.
Everything that is good and pure is getting infected by virgin.
This is where a normal song is played, and then halfway through the song, it changes to be an Elliot Rogers song parody. Elliot Rogers was a 22-year-old man responsible for the 2014 Isla Vista massacre. He murdered 7 people including himself and injured 14. Of course his horrific acts are nothing to laugh at, The humour comes from Callum trying to make sure that everyone knows that he does not condone such acts.
No, we will dodge that Rog. Thank you very much.
In a similar fashion, people try to get him to put on songs in heavy quotation marks, with people such as Keemstar screaming the N-word halfway through, or at the bass drop. Usually so that he has to stop what he's doing and turn it off, often losing him the game he was playing. Now most of his views are very nice and just ask him about football or for advice. The people who put these songs on are a minority, but this minority is probably one of the most extreme fan bases I have ever encountered. These people, who in the beginning made fun of him due to his head, have truly had to evolve their approach. They had to adapt their approach from comments to emailing his sponsors to tell them horrendous things.
One of you sent an email, one of you sent a complaint saying I suck off dogs for quavers!
Which he then lost his sponsorship with them for. They then started making YTP videos. They're a little bit tame. I think these were made a bit more in good taste than some of the others. And now they tried to humiliate him live. And these are a minority of people that tried to do this, but they are essentially what allowed him to go free and make YouTube videos for a living, and for that you've got to be thankful. Because it is a cozy, tightly knit community that he's got. And for that I can only congratulate him. I'm not too sure why I made this video. I wanted to prove to myself that I can do proper well edited videos, I think. And I don't have to resort to gameplay commentaries, which I'm going to make more of those because they're easy to do and they're fun, and I can do a lot more comedy with them. But I don't know.